Engadyna to 100-kilometrowa dolina w Gryzonii na południu Szwajcarii. Oaza spokoju i niewyczerpane źródło inspiracji. To połączenie alpejskiej przyrody i artystycznej tradycji. Dzięki samochodowym przyjaciołom odkryłam to miejsce z prawdziwie lokalnej i autentycznej perspektywy. I właśnie w taką podróż chcę Was dzisiaj zabrać.
Hello, welcome.
So I'm Matilda. I'm a photographer and set designer, stylist. And let's say I used to be a DJ. So we're now in our apartment in Samaden, where I live together with Marek. He's there, he's cooking. This is 8 minutes from St. Moritz. It's far enough from the hustle and bustle, but very close. This valley, I think it's for everybody, because you can either meet all kinds of international people in St. Moritz, like in town, or if you want to be on the slopes all day, you're also fine. Yeah, I can be stuck all day behind the computer working on my projects and thinking, what a wonderful view. I'm not going skiing today, but that's fine.
Would you call this place a paradise, or at least your place, your home?
So when we found this place, for me, it was immediately, it felt like home. It's an attic apartment. I grew up in a small attic apartment in Amsterdam. And
Matilda, be honest.
it was a small attic apartment in Amsterdam.
But there are some more details, I think.
It was an attic apartment with a beautiful glass roof and an open fireplace in the center of Amsterdam.
How many square meters was this apartment, Matilda?
Like 300. So this is a very eclectic collection of things. My mother was a painter and a sculptor and a writer. Now I'm slowly taking things of the house in Amsterdam. So everything comes together. So it's Marek's shelving system, and I made it better with my collection.
What about this amazing gallery?
It's a collection of mom, dad, grandfather was a photographer. Arnold Schwarzenegger is our inspirational
What you would say,
person.
Our cousin.
Our cousin, it is.
What about this car? I was always about to ask.
This is Marek's father, and he used to be a rally driver, so this is where his talent for driving fast cars is coming from.
It's your work?
Yes, yes, this is one of the flower works. This is an editorial work I did for a perfume brand. Sometimes it drives me crazy, and then I think I'm gonna be a minimalist. That takes like 5 minutes, and then it's over.
So here you see the Church of St. Jan. This is a main feature on our morning walks. Church is from the 15th century. Tower was destroyed in a fire in the 17th century, and they left it always like this. I think it's a beautiful church. Sort of make a photo every day, and it captures sort of the seasons changing very well. Because that's one of the things that we really like about living here, is that you have the full 4 seasons. Fun fact, in the whole of the valley there's only one traffic light. It's in Pontresina, so that's one of the things that we miss from the city. There's no traffic lights, you can always drive. The Palace Hotel on the left, with the most visited bar in St. Moritz. It's like the town square of St. Moritz. I'm Marek Baars, an architect, interior designer, graphic designer, living in Samaden, working in St. Moritz. My design studio, my practice focuses on hospitality design. So I have the honor to work for some hotels here, creating new visions for their hospitality, for their restaurant, for their food and beverage concepts. It's an interesting place to work. So it's, from a logistics point of view, not ideal. The nearest airport where we fly from is Zurich, so it's always a 3.5-hour train journey, very beautiful one. But if you have to do it twice a week, the beauty wears off. But on the other hand, ease to get into nature, to go for a long hike of 2 hours, it is a very good place to work. We felt fell in love with the nature, with the valley, but most of all, I have to say, with the people. On the one hand, it's really a village. If you forget to greet the butcher, you will hear it the next day. Hey, you walked by and you didn't greet. So that's very local, very village-like. And at the same time, it's extremely cosmopolitan. So anything that's middle of the road doesn't really work here. It has to be very interesting, very contemporary, or hardcore traditional in the best way you can imagine.
We met because of cars, classic cars mainly. How does the car community look like here?
It's very funny that you mention the classic car community, because obviously this was also one of the biggest reasons that we moved here. The car community here is incredible. There's amazing people, they have amazing cars. I don't think there are many places where the car community is so alive and active as here in St. Moritz.
What car do you drive?
A Jaguar.
And this is your most famous piece of furniture.
Yes.
We can also see it behind you.
Yeah, this is a shelving system that we've been working on for many years. From there it kind of developed into a product. So now we have the library that clients can order with us. So these are some renders of a project we recently completed in Kuwait. Renders that we do in-house. Really gives a client a good idea of what something will look like when it's built. But of course nothing beats reality. So maybe we should go to the Super Mountain and have a look at the work in person.
So this is the famous Super Mountain Market. Marek is the most visible at the moment here.
These are tables that now present all the fabulous products of Super Mountain, but often they use this as a dining setting. Everything is made out of super raw aluminium, get a lot of patina over time.
So yeah, I would say community is really 50% of Super Mountain, and the other 50% is just amazing products. It's mostly linked to people who either are inspired by the Alps or work in the Alps. This year I'm finally showing some of my own work, and I can show it there. Since a few years I have worked on flower still lifes, which is maybe
Beautiful.
also, thank you, which is also maybe like the Dutch heritage of the famous flower painters, the still life painters. I got amazing help from my frame consultant, who's really good with wood.
It doesn't look like a photo, it looks like you painted.
I'm a very analog person, but I like to use a bit of surrealism. It's really super fun to have such a fantastic community here in St. Moritz. There are so many talented people here, like Angelo De Luca.
We actually opened it like 5 years ago. This was actually our focus, is to try to find the most beautiful things by nation that are touched by the Alps. Also here I found that my project of jewels, for me, was a life changer to move to St. Moritz. It's really the best things I've done in my life. A jewel that identifies my project a lot is this mountain ring. That in this case is the mountain Corvac, which is a mountain here during the sunset. So that's why you have this little pink sapphire, and on the body of the ring you have all the white diamonds, because it's the nature in winter is frozen. And if you turn your hand, under there is the lake of seals.
So actually, Anna, we have a task to do, because I need to shoot some for the amazing label Rier, and you're going to be my model, so let's go. So we're shooting like 4 or 5 images, 3 items, and we'll just have like St. Moritz in the background. So this is the amazing Hanselmann. I really like to go here. They have just amazing pastries here, and they have a really nice old-fashioned, like almost like wooden canteen in the back. I really love it.
Where are we now?
We are now at Hauser Patisserie. I love to get some cakes here, and I really appreciate that their packaging is still like I said before, it's hardcore, old-fashioned, and I really appreciate it. The Germans and the Swiss, they have a really passion for Kuchen. We always had at 4 o'clock, we had a stop with Kaffee und Kuchen, and that's something very serious. And
You can't skip it.
you cannot
It's
skip
like
it.
a lunch for Italians.
Exactly.
Kolejny obowiązkowy przystanek to niezwykły vintage shop.
Frida, basically, it's a place where you can find beautiful vintage, pieces that have transcended generations. It's an inspiring place. It's a melting pot between past, future, and present.
Why you like this place, Mathilde?
What I think is really great about Frida is that the pieces, to me personally, are super inspiring. Like if I think from a point of view as a set designer or stylist, then I think this really tells a story. And this is what I find so interesting, because you see the hand of the creator, you see the hand of the designer, and for me it inspires stories in my head.
So we have a real treasure here.
It's a Trifari, and we have Mrs. Eisenhower's parure that she wore in the 2 inaugurations of President.
Okay, I do have to say your hats are absolutely stunning. I love the mixture of the pink and the brown. Amazing. So if you have a spare one, I'm here.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye, girls. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Czas na kolację. Lokal powstał jako hołd dla Luciano Pavarottiego, światowej sławy tenora, który przez lata był związany z Engadyną i regularnie bywał w St. Moritz. Wnętrze nawiązuje do klasycznych włoskich enotek, a atmosfera dobrze oddaje swobodny charakter St. Moritz. Kolejnym miejscem, które warto odwiedzić wieczorem w St. Moritz, jest Oki Ramen. To zaskakujący punkt na kulinarnej mapie miasta, odległy od tradycyjnej kuchni engadyńskiej. Dziś Matylda jest tutaj DJ-ką. Czas na rodowitego Engadyńczyka i kultowe miejsce spotkań. Stację benzynową Manx Cafe.
Hello, I'm Andrea Clenguti. I'm a photographer and creative. I was born and raised here in the Upper Engadine Valley. We are here now at Manx Cafe, which is probably the best location for car guys. There's always some cool cars going on. There's the best coffee in the valley, best pastries, and all these amazing gadgets and things you can buy. Both my families have been raised in the Engadine since I don't know, probably 8, 9 generations. Someone has always been anywhere else, also in Poland, in Warsaw. They had bakeries. Everything got lost during the 30s, 40s. It's a typical trait of the Engadinese people. Leave, look for fortune elsewhere, and then come back. This is why many houses that we will see later are not the typical farmhouse, because they had been changed when these families came back and say, let's go back to the or keep the family house, but change it in the way we have it in Warsaw, in Berlin, in Milan.
Właśnie dlatego w języku retoromańskim, używanym w tym regionie, mieszkańców Engadyny nazywa się jaskółkami, czyli randolins.
We are at the Villa Flor in Szczamf. It's a guest house with 7 rooms. It's not really a typical hotel. It's more of a house, a family house, quite small, very personal. This house is also a bit of an Italian style. Our father is an architect and he made the refurbishments, but he tried to keep as much of the old structure as possible. So my mother works together with a couple of galleries. On the one hand side we have sculpture by Hans Josefsson, a Swiss sculptor. And the other one is called Small Artworks in Big Names. And there are different artworks by Keith Haring, Andy Warhol, Yves Klein. So this is room number 5. It's one of the 7 rooms at Villa Flor that you can book and stay in. Here we are in the breakfast room where the guests can enjoy a freshly made breakfast every day. We have 2 large paintings by the painter Julian Schnabel here, who is also a guest at Villa Flor and stays here.
Now we are on top of the Bernina Pass, coming from the Engadine Pass from Pontresina. And this is the Glacier Terrace. We are here at Ristorante Cambrena, which is one of my favorite cool little places to come after work or in the evening, especially with our classic cars, with friends.
And here Bernina Gran Turismo takes place. I heard this is like the best car event for spectators.
I really think it is. Fantastic mix. Hello.
Oi.
Grazie.
Buon appetito, un gesto assolutamente.
Grazie.
Prego.
It's a proper race, so people race with race cars and licenses, and they go full at it. And I love this. I love to be part of it. We are at Stazione della Posta La Reusa, the home base of Bernina Gran Turismo.
Is it open for spectators?
This is open for spectators, yes. It's not super easy to reach, but it's very accessible once you're here because there are no barriers. You can watch the race from a lot of places along the road. La Reusa Stazione della Posta used to be a trading post when the road was the only connecting path between south and north. Donkeys that used to transport things up the pass could stop here. It's an amazing location. I love it because it's preserved exactly as it was. It can be used for events. You can sleep here, you can have lunches, dinners here on reservation.
It's not cold inside?
It is cold inside, yes, but it can be heated on request. The writing on the wall it means if today's not nice, tomorrow it will be nicer. And if tomorrow it's not nice, then it will be soon. What I think it's important to say about this house represents this philosophy of Bernina Gran Turismo, this ruggedness, this rugged luxury, this luxury of timeless places that are not renovated. It's just you cannot fake this again. This is historic, and it's this kind of exclusivity that Bernina Gran Turismo stands for. St. Moritz Automobile Week was born in 1929 exactly for this reason, to promote cars and tourism in the region after they said, okay, we are finally able to drive cars, let's build roads.
They want to make it popular because before it was forbidden.
Exactly. Automobile 9. It's difficult to imagine how it will look like in 9 months' time in September when all the race cars from Bernina will drive down and then they go up.
To właśnie tutaj, w St. Moritz, czyli w najstarszym śnieżnym kurorcie na świecie, narodziła się w ogóle idea śnieżnego wypoczynku w Alpach. Dlatego gościnność i kulinaria są tutaj na najwyższym poziomie.
St. Moritz jest szczególnie znane z hoteli z wieloletnią tradycją, które od pokoleń przyjmują światową elitę. Najstarsze z nich powstały w XIX wieku i do dziś zachowują swój elegancki i klasyczny charakter. Tutejsze hotele wyróżniają się zabytkową architekturą, bogato zdobionymi wnętrzami i historią związaną z rozwojem sportów zimowych, a także obsługą na najwyższym poziomie opartą na wieloletniej tradycji. Obecnie znajdujemy się w Souvretta House. Historia tego miejsca sięga 1912 roku i pobyt tutaj to niepowtarzalne doświadczenie. Jak to mówimy z Szymonem, pośpiech w takich miejscach poniża. Nie musicie tutaj spać, ale na pewno przyjdźcie na najlepszą club sandwich w całej Engadynie.
We are ending our day at Souvretta House, well-known five-star hotel in St. Moritz. It's a place very close to me as I'm a co-organizer of the annual British Classic Meeting, which is a meeting for all British cars. The Souvretta House is the home of the British Classic Meeting. I love this contrast from the things that I was able to show you today, being outside, freezing cold, being fully immersed into the nature, and then the roads, and then these historical houses, and then in a matter of a short time be here enjoying an amazing afternoon.
Następny dzień zaczynamy w Cafe Belmont.
My name is Silvano Vitellini. I grew up in the Engadine Valley and I have a small coffee shop in St. Moritz.
Okay, small coffee shop, but very popular, I would say. I know this place and I'm not from here.
Rumor has it somehow has become a little oasis of, I would say, probably good coffee, wine and a little bit of art. I think to appreciate the place, you need to get out. You need to see the wild world. You need to make your experiences abroad. And then once you're ready, come back to this beautiful place. At some point, I guess you realize it's a small paradise.
How did you end up having a coffee place like Belmont here in St. Moritz?
That was a pure coincidence. At the beginning, it didn't work out quite well. So people didn't like the design, or that it was too modern, or it was too avant-garde. But over time, they started to kind of either get used to it or like it. I don't know what it is.
Before we go and try coffee in Belmont, can you tell me more about your car? Because I'm surprised I didn't know that you own Land Rover.
So yeah, but with many people up here in the valley, they're all a big car enthusiasts, I would say. It's a 1962 Land Rover, actually conversion from Seal. So you have the bulk roof that they used to do kind of like the first safari. So I use it around town to get things done, and it's my battleship.
Czas na główną atrakcję tego weekendu.
Cześć, jestem Sara i pracuję dla St. Moritz Turismo w PR-ze.
Wielokrotnie byłam tutaj na konkursie elegancji The Ice, ale jeszcze nigdy nie byłam na zamarzniętym jeziorze podczas wydarzenia Snow Polo. To mój pierwszy raz, na szczęście mam świetną przewodniczkę, Sarę, która mówi w 6 językach i jednym z tych języków jest polski, a nawet gwara śląska.
Tak,
jak to się
godą też
stało?
po śląsku. Tata mój jest z Portugalii, z Włoch, mama moja z Polski, ja się urodziłam w Niemczech, także w St. Moritz mam wszystko razem. St. Moritz jest perfect mix of culture, food and lifestyle, and sport and well-being. Także dla każdego, dla każdej generacji jest zawsze jakiś offer to do. This year we sponsor a team. Okay. So there is the St. Moritz team. This is why we're here to support them. It's 4 young, amazing, fun guys.
Yeah, I saw those 4 guys yesterday.
Exactly.
I came here for atmosphere.
Yeah, the atmosphere. It's one of the most prestigious top events we have.
Mecze polo rozgrywane są tu już od lat 80. Śnieg i warunki pogodowe oczywiście bardzo zmieniają dynamikę gry. Zasady są jednak proste, ale boisko jest mniejsze, mecze są krótsze, a konie wyposażone są w specjalne podkowy, które zapewniają im przyczepność. Snow polo to bardzo ważny element zimowej tożsamości St. Moritz. Pokazuje, jak tradycja i sporty zimowe są ważne dla Szwajcarów. Dla zawodników to wyzwanie fizyczne, a dla widzów niezwykłe doświadczenie, no bo mało sportów odbywa się w tak niepowtarzalnych warunkach.
Ja tu jestem dla atmosfery.
Tyle emocji. Trzeba coś zjeść.
So we are here in one of my favorite places, in the Butcher Heuberger. The ladies are preparing a very traditional dish from the Engadine Valley, which is called kapuns.
Czy to, Sara, przypomina trochę nasze gołąbki? Twoja
Tak,
babcia
właśnie,
ma
chciałam
restaurację
powiedzieć.
w Polsce.
To są nasze gołąbki, nasza wersja Engadina gołąbki, tak samo. Mąka, jajko, kiełbasa, to wszystko.
We are the third generation. We are in the place where we tried meat. It's very a specialty meat from this part, from this canton Graubünden, for the typical Bündner Teller. And then you can eat too after skiing or before an eat. You make a plate with salsits, with ham, with beef and bread, cheese. A very good glass of wine. It's very better.
Okay, my last question is,
Yes.
can you try it?
Yeah, you can try it. We go downstairs and then you can try it.
A teraz opowiem Wam, gdzie to wszystko się zaczęło.
Kulm Hotel to jedno z kluczowych miejsc w historii zimowej turystyki w Alpach i najstarszy 5-gwiazdkowy hotel w St. Moritz. Hotel został otwarty w 1856 roku przez Johannesa Badruta i to właśnie tutaj narodziła się idea zimowych wakacji w górach. Kolejna ważna data to 1864 rok. Wtedy Badrut zaprosił tutaj gości, którzy przyjeżdżali tutaj w sezonie letnim na zimowe wakacje. Obiecał im dużo słońca, śniegu i sportów zimowych. Powiedział, że jeżeli nie będzie im się podobać, to zwróci im koszty podróży. Gościom tak się spodobało, że zostali do Wielkanocy. Kulm Hotel był pionierem nie tylko w hotelarstwie, ale też w sporcie. Wspierał rozwój bobslejów, skeletonów i narciarstwa, a dzięki temu St. Moritz stało się jednym z najważniejszych ośrodków sportów zimowych na świecie. To miejsce, gdzie luksus był od zawsze połączony z aktywnością, a nie tylko i wyłącznie z prestiżem.
My name is David Minoretti. I'm the brand PR manager of the Kulm Hotel. We are now at the Kulm lobby, which is really at the heart of the hotel. It's also the living room of St. Moritz. Guests, locals, they all meet here.
To pomieszczenie zostało zaprojektowane przez Normana Fostera. Widzimy tutaj nawiązania do alpejskich krajobrazów i to, jak w St. Moritz taką tradycję sportową łączy się z nowoczesnym podejściem do architektury i gościnności.
Skoro mowa o sportach zimowych, niech ktoś mi proszę wytłumaczy zasady tej gry.
Don't hold the stone afterwards. Just let it go. Huh?
When
you push, when you feel that the stone has a good speed, just push
Okay.
and push. Yeah, good. Yeah, very good.
Look! It's a good one, right?
Good one.
To jest najważniejsza rzecz, żeby pamiętać, żeby to zdjąć, jak się jest amatorem.
We have two teams. They play against other, so it's a yellow team and a blue team. And we try to play on the other side to the same circle we have here. We have the same circle on the other side. We have to try to play as close as possible to the center.
What about this?
The sweeping.
The sweeping.
The sweeping is, if a stone is not long enough, you can make it longer.
Easy. How long are you playing?
how many years.
Yeah, I see your technique is brilliant. You look like a dancer on the ice.
Sometimes it looks like, yeah.
Jedyne, co mogło mnie oderwać od curlingu, to spotkanie z Sarą.
Dzisiaj znowu jestem z moją ulubioną osobą w St. Moritz na lunchu.
Dzień dobry.
To jest chyba bardzo tradycyjne miejsce.
Tak, jesteśmy w hotelu Stefani w restauracji Le Pomme Bleu, gdzie idzie zjeść pyszną swojską kuchnię.
Ja mam elizuk, to jest moje top 1, co można zamówić na stoku narciarskim. Kocham.
Super, pycha, jak jest zimno na dworze, to tak fajne zupy ze zjeść. I tu mamy Flammkuchen, może to nie jest typikowe ze Szwajcarii, ale też coś fajnego w górach. Dobrze, smacznego, jak u babci.
Kochane moje dziołchy. Tu jesteśmy w ratuszu, miejsce, gdzie pracuję, też jest nasze biuro. Jak jesteście w St. Moritz, oglądajcie ten odcinek i przyjdziecie też do turyst informacji Via Maestra 12, żeby mieć informacje. Okay. Once you're in St. Moritz, rewatch this clip. Come to Via Maestra 12, ask about anything you want to my dearest guest relation team. They will update you on places where to go, where to eat and buy our beautiful merch. Mam tak samo jak ty. Żałuję, że cię znałam. Żałuję, że kochałam. Że będziesz kiedyś sam, całkiem sam. Babcia, kocham cię bardzo. Cała moja rodzina w Polsce. Mua. Mogłeś mnie dla siebie mieć.
St. Moritz przyciąga artystów z całego świata. Kameralna atmosfera i międzynarodowa publiczność sprawia, że znajdziemy tu bogatą kolekcję sztuki w najlepszym wydaniu.
Hello, welcome to Gallery Ponopel and Thai Fascinari di San Marzano. In the exhibition, we gathered the works of Rolf's latest practice, as well as some of his pieces from the 90s. Rolf Sachs is an institution in St. Moritz in many aspects, and he has given a lot to the place as well. He's a, let's say, a host for St. Moritz, no?
Zresztą cała Engadyna, poza spektakularną przyrodą, jest regionem silnie związanym ze sztuką. Jednym z najważniejszych punktów na tej mapie jest Muzeum Susz. Polski akcent w samym sercu Alp o wyjątkowym znaczeniu dla współczesnej sztuki. Muzeum Susz to prywatna instytucja artystyczna, która skupia się na twórczości kobiet, które przez lata były marginalizowane w historii sztuki. Muzeum zostało założone przez polską kolekcjonerkę sztuki Grażynę Kulczyk. Jego siedziba powstała w dawnym klasztorze i browarze wkomponowanych w alpejską dolinę. Architektura nie dominuje tutaj nad sztuką, ale prowadzi z nią dialog. To miejsce, które nie tylko pokazuje sztukę, ale także zadaje pytania o reprezentację, pamięć i rolę kobiet w kulturze.
Artystów przyciąga tutaj światło, cisza, spokój oraz uczucie odosobnienia, które sprzyja koncentracji i pracy twórczej. To miejsce, w którym kultura naturalnie wpisuje się w krajobraz. Susz to również przykład na to, że w Szwajcarii, nawet w małym alpejskim miasteczku, może powstać instytucja o międzynarodowym znaczeniu.
Kolejnym przystankiem jest cylindryczna rotunda w Cłos autorstwa Jamesa Turrella. Otwór w dachu kadruje tutaj niebo. To współczesna interpretacja idei Panteonu. Architektura staje się narzędziem patrzenia i mierzenia czasu poprzez naturę. Wnętrze wyostrza koncentrację, jak wizjer aparatu, który skupia uwagę wyłącznie na świetle.
So now we're in Engadin Antique Shop. I guess this is your favorite place here?
Yes, it is. Well, we passed by many times and was saying, oh, I need to go in there. You come in and you don't expect this from the outside.
Yeah, it's huge also.
It's
inside
huge
and have so many rooms.
So many rooms and so many stuff. So this is really my kind of shop. It's just fantastic to see that there's still these shops around. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we didn't go to Engadin Museum.
No, but this is almost the same.
This is almost the same.
I think this is more exciting.
Zbliża się długo wyczekiwany przez nas konkurs elegancji The Ice. Miasto zdecydowanie się zmieniło. Jest tu teraz bardzo tłoczno. Pełno jest ciężarówek, które wypakowują samochody. Zobaczymy, co zakulisowo uda nam się jeszcze podejrzeć przed samym wydarzeniem. I to są właśnie nasze kulisy. 3 Bugatti bolid na zamarzniętym jeziorze.
Ladies and gentlemen,
The one and only The Ice.
Oprócz tego, że znajdujemy się na zamarzniętym jeziorze, na bardzo grubej tafli lodu, to The Ice to również skrót od International Concours of Elegance. W St. Moritz w ten weekend zgromadziły się najciekawsze samochody kolekcjonerów z całego świata. Od przedwojennego Bentleya 4,5 litra Open Tourera z lat 20. po trochę inną niż moja Alfa Romeo Giulietta Spider Bertone, po Jaguara XJ220 z 93. Co wyróżnia The Ice? To jedyny konkurs tego kalibru, który odbywa się zimą, a samochody nie tylko tutaj stoją, ale jeżdżą, niektóre nawet szybko i bokiem. Mój ulubieniec, błękitny Pontiac Vivant z 65, jedyny taki na świecie, 6-litrowe V8 stworzone przez brytyjskich specjalistów, którzy pracowali wtedy dla Rolls-Royce'a, zwanych The Beatles of Troy. Może nie widać, ale ta Alfa jest na oponach Pirelli. Nice scarpetta, Matteo.
No, wait. Scarpetta is the thing you do with bread after you finish your pasta on the dish to get the sauce. Not that. That's called calza.
In Polish it's scarpetta.
Whatever.
Nice to see you again. Can you tell me more about your car?
So this is the one out of 2 prototypes Bertone made for the Giulietta Spider. At some point Alfa Romeo decided to make a convertible version of the Alfa Romeo Giulietta, and they gave 2 chassis to Pininfarina and 2 chassis to Bertone. Of course the Pininfarina version was chosen because it was cheaper to build.
Na czas The Ice St. Moritz zamienia się w scenę, na której każdy chce zaistnieć. Na co dzień to zupełnie inne miejsce, w którym to natura, sztuka i tradycja odgrywają główną rolę. Mieszkańcy cenią tu jakość życia, spokój i prywatność. Moje małe marzenie? Wrócić tutaj latem.